Bellagio is an iconic part of the Las Vegas Strip, known for its Fountains of Bellagio, floral conservatory, luxurious accommodations, and for being robbed by Daniel Ocean back in 2001. I finally had the opportunity to stay there to see if it lives up to the hype. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jake with Stalking the Strip, and my brother Ike and I started this YouTube channel to take folks inside the hotel rooms, attractions, bars, and restaurants in Las Vegas so you know what to expect, alongside our opinions as to whether or not it's worth the time and money. With that in mind, let's get on with the review. I booked Bellagio's baseline Premier King room, and the room was complimentary based on my gambling activity within the MGM Rewards loyalty program. I was still on the hook for the resort fee, however. This room typically goes for around $170 to $200 per night midweek and upwards of $300 on the weekends. MGM Properties, of which Bellagio is one, allows for traditional check-in at the front desk or mobile check-in, and mobile check-in is the way to go. You just check in via the app the night before your stay, and then the day of your stay, you're alerted the moment your room is ready, bypassing the lines, the front desk, and the social interaction that comes with it. Pretty seamless process. The best part about mobile check-in is that you commonly gain access to your room before the standard check-in time, even if you didn't pay for guaranteed early check-in. Now, obviously that depends on availability and your experience may differ, but I've gotten into hotel rooms under the MGM Resorts umbrella as early as 8 in the morning. Little bit fluky, but it is possible. In this case, Bellagio let me know my room was ready at noon, and up I went. When I make my way up to hotel rooms, I usually like to scope out the condition of common areas like hallways and elevator lobbies because it's part of the resort experience, but also hints at what you can expect when you get into your room. Bellagio did not disappoint. Hotel hallways were clean, well lit, there were chandeliers, fake floral arrangements. Elevator lobbies had brass fixtures that seemed recently polished and shined. I was getting excited. The Bellagio renovated every room in their main hotel tower as part of a 2021 project, and I was pretty jacked to finally get inside a room and see the finished product firsthand. Their website states in press release talk, the room features soft and reflective tones reminiscent of the sun rising over Lake Como, Italy. I don't really know what that means, but I can tell you, stepping into that room, my first impressions were pretty strong. The room's furnishings felt modern, genuinely luxurious. The living area was comprised of a couch with a coffee table, and then there was a separate table with a couple of chairs. An amenity that never gets old to me. The blinds were controllable via a bedside switch, and that kind of power, it just makes a guy feel like he's made it. You know what I mean? There was a bench at the foot of the bed. Super helpful for those of us that are aging and struggle to put their shoes on while standing. Built into the end tables on either side of the bed were both traditional outlets and USB charge ports. And then there was a clock radio that also offered USB charging as well as wireless charging. The 55-inch TV was mounted above a really modern-feeling TV stand, which was home to an extensive minibar, which I steered well clear of. And in addition to the typical safe, iron and ironing board, Bellagio also provided 2 robes, which I never used, because it just felt weird. Moving into the bathroom, in my opinion, it was a stone-cold stunner. I am a bit of a sucker for illuminated mirrors, and this one did not disappoint. There was also a separate, smaller illuminated mirror for makeup application. The shower was cavernous. I think that's the best way to describe it. It was very long. The water pressure was so insanely strong. Not only did I leave completely exfoliated, but I now know how Andy Dufresne must have felt during his intake process at Shawshank. Toiletries from Lanavero were provided, as was a landline phone next to the toilet. An amenity I'll never fully understand, but it's nice to have, just in case. So what's not to like? After all, it can't be all sunshine and rainbows, even at a premier property like Bellagio. One of my favorite room amenities is an empty mini fridge. Being able to stock that up with cheap drinks from CVS or Walgreens is one of my favorite things to do. In this case, the Bellagio's fridge was pretty filled up with minibar items, but there was one tiny, pathetic little shelf labeled personal use. After some scientific experimentation, I was able to determine that precisely two 24-ounce beverages could fit on that shelf. Not a deal breaker, but a little more space wouldn't hurt. Another thing that cracks me up is when properties spend an exorbitant amount of money to renovate their hotel product, but they leave original, yellowed, weathered light switches and outlets in place. In this case, all the switches and outlets were swapped out except for one singular drape control, which was yellowed and stood out like a sore thumb. Didn't ruin my stay, but don't understand why you wouldn't just swap that bad boy out. And then lastly, there was a few baseboard and wall scuffs, nothing egregious or nothing that ruined my stay. On the whole, I would describe this as a very clean room. The resort experience at Bellagio is honestly pretty darn special. Location-wise, tough to beat, right in the middle of the strip and steps away from other resorts, restaurants, and attractions. But don't forget about the freebies at Bellagio itself. The Fountains of Bellagio are choreographed to a number of musical selections, and their floral conservatory has displays that are swapped out seasonally. Dale Chihuly's backlit floral display can be found on the ceiling in the hotel lobby. I have yet to walk by it and resist the urge to snap a picture. Now, I visited during the winter and I didn't make it down to the pool, but it is one of the prettier pool scenes in Vegas. And it's a relaxing pool scene as opposed to having a party vibe. Dining wise, there are numerous restaurants with culinary influences from around the world, many of which overlook the Fountains of Bellagio. If I'm being honest, they're out of my price range. In an attempt to maximize my caloric intake, I stopped into the buffet at Bellagio for brunch, which I currently have ranked as the 4th best buffet on the Strip, behind Caesar's Palace, Wynn, and Cosmopolitan. I'll be sure to link to my full review down below in the description, but some of my favorite food items at the buffet included prime rib, obviously, bacon mac and cheese, a mini gyro, and rotisserie chicken. I paid $49.99 plus tax and tip, so this isn't exactly an inexpensive option either, unfortunately, although it was pretty darn good. On that topic, I think it's important to note that the Bellagio is not the type of resort that caters to a budget-conscious traveler. On the casino floor, I never saw a table game minimum below $25, and when I did see $25, it was in the early morning hours or at non-peak times. The cheapest restaurant at Bellagio is Snacks, a quick-serve concept where I ordered chicken strips and french fries for the menu price of $19. After tax and tip, that crept closer to $30. It was good. I'm not sure it was over $20 good. If you are budget conscious, don't let the expensive nature of Bellagio scare you away from staying there though. There are opportunities to eat, drink, and gamble for less nearby. I'd suggest checking out the food and drink deals in the Miracle Mile shops at Planet Hollywood. I'll link to a resource down below that highlights some of those deals. The verdict. Is this room worth the money? I'm not going to mince words. This was a spectacular room at a gorgeous resort in a great location on the Las Vegas Strip. If you've been on the fence and you can stomach the price tag, just book. It's a treat. As for me, I personally can't afford staying at Bellagio every single time I'm on the Strip, but I look forward to coming back and treating this as more of a splurge property for a date night or a special occasion type weekend. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have strong opinions on Bellagio or this video, make sure you drop those below in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.